This is a video for anyone who is frustrated with their love life. If you don't know how to talk to people that you'd be attracted to, if you're tired of chasing people and wondering why they text you back and they just leave you wondering whether they liked you in the first place or not, if you don't know how to get somebody so aroused that they crave you and that they chase you, you need to pay attention, because I'm going to be sharing with you what I believe is one of the most powerful triggers of attraction, and that is the ability to escalate, the ability to arouse somebody, the ability to get somebody so turned on that they chase you. In this video, I'm going to break down how to be so attractive that you find that you have so many different options of people that all want to be with you, that you can get your ideal relationship. Whether you want to date one person, whether you want to date a whole bunch of people until you find the person that you truly love, or whether you just don't want to be lonely anymore, it is very important that you listen to everything that I'm about to say. So I'd strongly suggest that you turn off all your social media, you grab a pen and paper, maybe a nice cup of tea to sit down and enjoy this video with, because I am going to be breaking open everything about escalation, and in fact I'm going to be covering the entire attraction process and all of the qualities that you need to be truly attractive. In the next few minutes, I'm going to tell you exactly what you need to do to be so attractive and to turn people on so much that they chase you, and you can have this working within a fraction of the amount of time that it normally takes people to learn this skill set. Now, at this point, you may be aware that there are many people around the world that claim to be dating gurus. These random people that upload a website, upload a few videos, and try and prove that they're good at dating. But if you're watching this, then you already know who I am. In the slim chance that you haven't heard fully exactly who I am, my name is Lyons. I'm regarded as one of the world's leading dating coaches and have been for the last 15 years. I've been featured on Channel 4 documentaries in the UK. I've been featured on Canal Plus documentaries in France and throughout Europe. I've been featured in FHM, Maxim magazine. I've been featured and was one of the writers for AskMen.com. I've been a speaker at multiple different stages for dating around the world. And in fact, I've been one of the lead instructors for companies like the Tao of Badass, PUA training, a guest instructor for companies like Love Systems and Real Social Dynamics. And I am the person that other dating coaches come to when they need advice. And I am here today to share with you the core quality that makes people chase you and be attracted to you, and that is knowing how to turn somebody on, knowing how to get them aroused so they want you, knowing how to be the kind of person that doesn't have to run around and chase and try and pick up other people or seduce other people, knowing how to be so attractive that other people want you. And that's something that I've done throughout my own life. In fact, you may have seen the news articles and video reports of me appearing on shows like Steve Harvey and The Today Show for being the man with 2 girlfriends. It's not that I have 2 girlfriends, it's the fact that I live in the same property as both of my girlfriends and we all have children together, and I've managed to maintain this relationship for 8 years in the public eye, showing people that I can create the kind of dating life that I want, and more importantly, I know how to create the same for you. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to date 2 different people. That's not what I'm saying at all. I can help you create and date whoever you want to, providing you learn how to become more attractive. And I'm going to let you into something right now. It's not about working out and getting a great physique. I promise you I absolutely don't. In fact, I'm carrying some extra pounds right here. It's not about making lots and lots of money. Between you and me, I am absolutely successful. But I managed to meet and attract the people that I'm dating before I had all that financial success. In fact, I find that when you are in an ideal relationship, it helps you become more financially successful, as all the energy that you're currently putting into trying to learn to meet people or date people or get your dating life on track could go into making money, being successful, starting a business, learning about investments in the stock market, or maybe even real estate and becoming a real estate investor. All of your energy and willpower, if you're struggling with your dating life, is being burned on relationships, dates that are going wrong, wondering why somebody isn't texting you back. And all of those problems go away when you finally learn how to be attractive. And so I'm telling you that when you learn this, you will find it easier to make more money and to be more successful. And that's one of the reasons why I believe that one of the best investments I ever made in my life was learning how to be better at dating, as it not only gave me the love life, sex life, and relationships that I've always wanted, it also helped me become the successful, wealthy business owner that I am today. And in a minute, I'm going to be sharing with you how to use escalation to get somebody so aroused that they chase you. And this is the final part of something that I call the ACE formula, which is my method to help anybody get the exact dating life that they want. But I didn't always have this skill, and I wasn't always this person. I started my journey at the age of 26, where up until then, I truly believed that I would never be able to get a girlfriend. And the reason I believed that is because I was told in high school, my friends told me that I was literally going to be the person least likely to ever get a girlfriend. And while that was really probably just some friends of mine trying to make fun of me, it stuck in my head. And then with the fact that I couldn't get a girlfriend, I started to believe it. I really felt that I was an absolute loser and no one would ever want to date me. And it wasn't until I was 26 that I realized I needed to do something about it. Now, what's fascinating is I'm always telling stories about some of the failures that I had before I was 26, but I want to share one with you that you probably have never heard before. And this is when I was 23 years old. I actually worked for a small television company, and we were working in production, and I fell in love with one of the presenters of the show. And this was a really awkward situation because this person really enjoyed hanging out with me. To put it in perspective, we would spend time hanging out at her house with her mum. I got to meet her family. All her family were like, Adam's such a great guy. This is a guy you should totally date. And every time someone said that, she would just go, And it all culminated one night when she got invited to accept an award for her TV personality stuff that she'd been doing, and I was asked to be her chaperone. Now, very important here, it wasn't her that asked me, she just wasn't seeing anybody at the time, and somebody at the TV company recommended that I drive her. So what I ended up doing was I organized the limousine to come and pick her and myself up, and we drove to the awards. There were paparazzi outside taking pictures and desperate to see all these wonderful people, and I walked in arm with this beautiful TV presenter, and I truly felt that this was going to be the start of something epic. We spent the entire night together laughing and giggling, and I had the most beautiful woman on my arm, the person who was like my absolute crush, who I couldn't wait to hopefully spend the rest of my life with, even though we'd never actually dated, never made out, and nothing had really ever happened. Later on that night, as things started dying down and winding to an end, she needed a place to crash, and her place was a few hours away, and I recommended that she comes back to my place, and she agreed. I couldn't believe it. Finally, this was the opportunity that I was going to get to not only be with one of the most beautiful people, but the person I had a crush on. We end up going back to my house, and it's apparent that there isn't really any sexual chemistry, and I get nervous. So I'm not sure what to do, so I suggest that we watch a movie. Now, this is probably one of the worst ideas I've ever had, and since then I know exactly what I should have done to arouse her and get her turned on, but at the time I didn't know, and so we sat as friends, lying in our underwear, under the bed covers, watching a movie in bed. Literally lying next to each other. And the distance between us was only about 30 centimeters, about a foot to Americans, and I couldn't cross it. I couldn't work out a way to reach out and touch her or do anything. So we started falling asleep while we're watching the movie, and I'm lying there frustrated. I've got, that awkward boner that you get in your pants when you're really attracted to somebody, but you don't want them to see it or notice it. And we're lying next to each other, and I can tell that she's starting to fall asleep, and I finally get brave enough to try and do something. So I reach my hand across the bed, travel the 30 centimeters to try and reach this person, and I hold her hand. And I'm shocked that she holds my hand in kind, and then we still just sit there and nothing's happening. And the truth is, I didn't know what to do to get her aroused. And I see so many people nowadays in that same situation that they'll say, I went on a date with somebody, but nothing happened because I didn't know what to do. And I am going to tell you exactly what should be done because it is all about escalation. But at this moment, I'm lying there in bed and I'm not sure what to do. And I'm thinking, I know I need to try and turn her on. And so I make the mistake of reaching my hand further across and start trying to touch her shoulder. As soon as I get to her shoulder, she takes my hand and she moves it off of her shoulder. And I realize I've done something wrong. I've realized that she's not interested. And while, in my head I wasn't being inappropriate, obviously she didn't want me to touch her shoulder, and at this point she didn't want me to touch her hand. I felt so rejected, so ashamed, I didn't know what to do, and then it got worse. The next morning she woke up, was kind of distant with me, said that she needed to go into work early, and she left nice and early. And I wondered, had I done something too terrible? I only touched her hand and her shoulder. Like, what's wrong with that? Is it that bad? And then from that point on at work, she was cold with me. She was strange, she was distant. And I'll be honest with you, from that point on, our relationship was never the same. We were still friends, we still hung out, but we never really spent time alone together again. And I realized that I'd made a huge mistake. And that mistake was simply that I had no idea what I was doing. She obviously didn't want me to touch her shoulder, but she was okay with me touching her hand. I didn't understand what the difference was. Why was the shoulder so different to her hand? It's not like, I touched any genitals or what have you. Like, what had gone wrong? And I'm telling you now, the thing that I had done wrong, the absolute thing I'd done wrong was I didn't know what I was doing. This was somebody that obviously felt comfortable with me. We obviously had attraction and chemistry. We would laugh and giggle and be together. And yet, something I'd done had made her feel uncomfortable. And I felt terrible. I felt so bad that I spent the last 6 months of us working together, giving her space, but still being friendly and helping her out whenever I could. And, I'm pleased to say that, we managed to maintain a friendship throughout that, but it was never the same. And our whole relationship fell apart. And this brought me to my knees. I didn't reach out and date anybody else for years because I didn't want to put anybody in a bad situation, and I didn't want to be in a bad situation myself. And it made me feel that the only thing there was to do was to become reclusive and to not spend time meeting and talking to anybody. And it was a few years later when I eventually met a girl at lunch. We were at a KFC of all places, and we got talking to each other, and we would meet every day in KFC, and we started dating. And that was the girl that ended up being my girlfriend, who would eventually start cheating on me, treating me so badly that she was abusing me within the relationship, at least emotionally, and I just accepted it. I paid all her bills, I looked after her, I did everything because I felt that's what I deserved. I felt that that was the only person I could ever get. And this situation was the one that turned so bad that when eventually I'd had enough and I couldn't date somebody that was seeing somebody else and rubbing it in my face, that she came, she stole all my belongings, and she left me lying there broken in an empty apartment with all of my belongings gone. And I realized that A, I had no idea how to meet people, how to generate attraction. B, I had no idea how to arouse them and turn them on. And C, I was going to be left as this absolute loser that either upset women or became upset by them unless I learned what to do. And the problem is, most people just want an easy fix, right? We want to just do these couple of things and everyone's going to like you. Or like these 3 simple questions will always make somebody fall madly in love with you. And the truth is, attraction isn't as easy as that. Sure, it's simple. In fact, I often tell people there are only 3 key qualities you need to be naturally attractive, but learning them and putting them into practice takes time. And anyone who tells you can do it in a weekend or you can do it in an afternoon is really just selling you horseshit. The reality is, for anyone to get good at this, you have to put time into it. It's the same as anything. If you want to get good at basketball, you've got to put in a lot of time practicing. If you want to get good at working out, you need to put in a period of time. The good news is it doesn't take anywhere near as long as people think either. There are some people that believe you have to study this for 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. It doesn't take that long either. In fact, I would argue that from the day that I decided to learn this subject, I mastered it within about 3 months. Within about 3 months of constant doing the right thing, I ended up in a position where not only was I no longer making people feel awkward, but I actually had people chase me. I had women that wanted to be with me, people that would lie down on their knees in front of me and beg me to take them. And I'm telling you, there is no better feeling than having a woman you are naturally attracted to, that you really want to be with, look at you with eyes of desire as she calls for you to go and take her and spend an entire wild evening together. And this is all because I learned how to be naturally attractive, and this is a skill set that I'm going to share with you right now. Now, when I first started studying dating, I didn't know where to go. There were all these other experts and gurus that were teaching things, and they would tell me something like, you need to do peacocking, or you need to do this method or that technique or whatever. And I found that most of them were just gimmicks. I kind of think of it like a toolbox. Everyone was trying to sell me a screwdriver or a hammer or, a pair of bolt cutters. And each one of these things is useful and has a specific purpose, but there was no overarching rule, right? There was no system that I could just follow and that just worked. And that's when I realized that I needed a system. And so I went on a mission to learn my own system. I didn't want to have a trick or a gimmick. I wanted to have something that I could rely on that gave me consistent results. And the first thing I found was that there were 3 key qualities that made somebody naturally attractive. And this is something that I called the ACE formula. Because providing you had all 3 of these qualities, everything else was kind of easy. And I could take any other method or technique and plug it in, providing I was using these 3 qualities, and it would work. In fact, a lot of my friends started saying that they loved what I taught as a solid foundation of like a map. The technique that I teach in the ACE formula lets you know where you are at each point. If you're struggling in communicating with somebody, that's fine, because the ACE formula lets you know exactly why that's happening, and more importantly, the exact steps you need to do in order to fix it. And then you can follow the exact ACE formula plan in order to get that to work, or you can plug in some other techniques that you've learned elsewhere, or maybe you've developed yourself, and it will still take you where you want to go, because now you've got the GPS for attraction. And that is exactly what the ACE formula is. It's all about knowing how to be more attractive, and then knowing exactly what to do to react to the other person in order to get the connection that you want. And I think that people forget this, right? There's two people in this interaction. There's you and there's them. And the key is to use the ACE formula to be more attractive yourself so people want you, and then react to what they're doing, and then you know exactly where to go. The ACE formula breaks down into three simple things. This is abundance, confidence, and the ability to escalate. Now, I've been breaking down all of these different techniques for years. And in fact, I've released a number of videos that teach people exactly what to do And I've released a number of videos that dive deep onto some of these different techniques. But in this video, I'm not only going to explain an overview of what abundance is and how to get it, and what confidence is and how to get it, but I'm also going to dive deep on escalation, which I believe is truly the real key to generating attraction and having someone chase you. So if you haven't got a pen and paper yet, and you haven't got a place to take notes, then I strongly suggest that you go and run quickly and grab it, because you're going to want to write this down and make sure you get it. And remember that even if you learn these things, it's still going to take a period of time of applying them to start seeing those true results that you want. But you can be getting results as fast as today if you start following the exact steps that we outline in the ACE formula. Now remember that I truly believe that it takes a few months at least in order to master this, where you've got so many people chasing you that you're basically, you're overwhelmed by the amount of different people that want you. But you can be getting results as soon as today if you start following exactly what I say. So do make sure to pay attention carefully. So the ACE formula breaks down into three different things, which is abundance, confidence, and the ability to escalate. Abundance is all about gaining pre-selection. It's having other people that are attracted to you. Because if you can design a lifestyle where you're constantly interacting with people that you're attracted to, then other people are going to see you surrounded by people that are attracted to you, and they're going to want you. For example, if you saw some guy walk into a bar with two beautiful women on their arm, would you assume that that guy was, just hanging out with two random girls, or would you assume that they were attracted to him? Most people would assume that that guy walking in with one woman on each arm, they're laughing and giggling, that both those girls are into him. Maybe you'd get jealous, maybe you'd think he paid for them, maybe you'd think that he's polyamorous, or maybe you just think that there are these two girls that are fighting over him. The reality is, they could be his cousins. They could be his sisters that he's taken out for a night on the town. And yet your brain probably didn't jump to family members. And that's because our brains are wired to see attraction everywhere. And that works both ways. That means if you walk into a bar with a bunch of women surrounding you, other women are going to assume that they're with you. And therefore, they don't have to wonder whether you're attractive. They know you're attractive because there are women after you. And this triggers pre-selection, which psychologists have found is one of the key triggers to attraction. The problem is, most people have no idea how to generate that pre-selection or how to build that abundance. I remember telling people, as long as you hang out with beautiful people that are attracted to you, other people are going to want you. And they go, yeah, but if I knew how to get beautiful people to be attracted to me in the first place, then I wouldn't be talking to you. And that's why what I've done is created a step-by-step system that makes it very easy for anybody to start not only hanging out with beautiful people in a comfortable, easy, and natural environment, but to do it in a way where those women will actually bring other women to you, so you don't even have to run around and go and approach people out on the streets or try and talk to strangers in bars, as these people are naturally doing it for you. And it is a very simple system that makes it easy for anybody to do it. You can actually start doing that today if you learn my abundance system. The next thing that you need to learn is confidence. Now, confidence isn't about being overconfident and pretending that you're some big alpha macho person. Confidence is really about experience. Most women will find men who have a lot of experience as being naturally attractive. You've probably seen this in your own life. You've noticed that these older, more experienced men tend to get the more beautiful women, while the younger guys don't really do as well. And you may have noticed that in your own life, that as you've got older, this has got easier. It's because women are naturally drawn to experience, not confidence, although these two things tend to go hand in hand. And this is why I teach people a step-by-step process to develop experience over time. It's a lot easier to generate attraction if your focus is on becoming experienced versus just becoming confident or pretending to be alpha. And if you collect the right experience in the right way, then not only do you become more attractive, but also you end up being somebody that people just want to be around. You end up being somebody that they naturally want to hang out with, which makes the abundance portion even easier as well. And these two things create a kind of like a cyclone effect, where not only are you being more attractive, but that attraction that you're building by being experienced is drawing more people around you that want to hang out with you, and more people want to hang out with you because you're being experienced, and the next thing you know, you're surrounded by all these wonderful, beautiful people, and you only need one more thing, and that is to learn how to escalate and get somebody aroused. I believe that escalation is the one thing that many people don't teach, and yet it's the thing everybody should be learning. And to me, this is the difference between an expert dating coach and amateur hour. The amateur hour coaches are all talking about how to talk to people, how to start conversations, how to flirt, and all these other basic things. But the reality is there are more people in relationships that don't have sex than people that are in relationships and having sex. And that's a problem. That shows you a systemic problem in our society that men truly have no idea how to arouse and attract their women. And I'm sitting here telling you that in the last 24 hours, not only have I had sex with two beautiful women, I'm telling you that they chased me. And you know this for a fact because you can see me all over media knowing the fact that I live with my two girlfriends. We live in a wonderful sex-enriched environment, in a wonderful lifestyle where I have the fluidity of being with who I want because I know how to arouse them and I know how to turn them on. And I didn't just do it when I first met them, I do it all the time. And it's because I know how to escalate. And this is what I want to share with you. You see, the problem is there's a number of different types of fear that hold people back from attraction. First of all, there's what they call approach anxiety, which is the fear of talking to strangers. It's a normal thing that every human being has. We develop it when we're children. It stays with us even when we get older. You don't have a fear of talking to women. You have a fear of talking to strangers. And everybody has it. Going up to some random dude in the middle of the street late at night, your brain's going to be like, why am I doing this? Why would I want to do that? And it's just because you have a fear of talking to strangers. There's nothing wrong with it. It's normal. Later on, people have a fear of knowing what to say. The fear of the awkward silence. That's what develops. But the very last fear is the fear of sexual escalation, the fear of arousing somebody. I can't tell you how many people write to me privately from our social media accounts saying to me, I have a fear of being with a woman in case my penis isn't big enough. I have a fear of being with a woman in case I orgasm too quickly. I have a fear of being with a woman in case I don't satisfy her sexually. I have a fear of being with a woman because I don't know if I'm going to live up to her standards of what she wants in bed. And in my opinion, it is this that holds people back. But that fear goes both ways. Women have a fear of being let down in bed. Women have a fear of being exposed to bad sex. Women have a fear of you being awkward and only lasting 20 seconds and her not getting to enjoy it. And her not getting to enjoy her orgasm. The reality is, when you know how to escalate and arouse somebody and turn them on, then they are going to feel that you're somebody that is going to satisfy them in bed. And I'm going to share with you now the key to escalation, and it's all about the mind. You see, men are physical creatures. We get aroused physically. That means if somebody, tugs your log long enough, then you're probably going to orgasm. However, when it comes to women, no matter how many times you flick her bean, it's not going to work and get her aroused. Women get aroused in the mind. She needs you to mentally arouse her before you physically arouse her. And this is why men in relationships struggle. Because once they're in the relationship, they believe they no longer need to do that. And they constantly go for just grabbing the nipples, grabbing a vagina, hoping that's going to turn into sex, like, the sex they used to have at the beginning of the relationship. But it doesn't, because they are no longer emotionally arousing her, no longer getting her turned on in her mind. And so the physical escalation doesn't follow. And this is why that relationship goes into a decline. And this is why you're struggling to get the relationship that you want, because you have to arouse her emotionally and verbally first, and then her body will follow. But this is also a benefit, because it means when I'm talking to somebody, I can't just randomly stick my hand in between her legs or grope her. I can't do that. It's unattractive. And I'm going to tell you now that I know that there are dating coaches that do that just physically force themselves on somebody hoping it will going to work. And if I ever catch anybody doing it, I'll tell you exactly what I think of you myself and report you myself, because it's not attractive, it doesn't work, and it's not what women want. They want to be aroused mentally. They want to be with somebody that stimulates them. When you first meet them, this is the perfect time to do it. Your goal is to learn exactly what to do to get her mentally aroused. Now, the whole point of this video series is I'm working on promoting one of my most powerful programs, which is the ACE formula. And the ACE formula is the only system I've ever found that guarantees to actually work, because it doesn't promote anything that's false or fake. It doesn't say, you know, by tomorrow you're going to have everything you ever wanted. Sure, you can have results tomorrow, but the real benefit's going to come over time, because anything worth doing is done over time. And in the ACE formula, we teach a number of different ways to escalate and arouse somebody, but I want to share with you one of those right now to show you truly how powerful it is when you get somebody aroused in their mind. Now, there are a number of different techniques, like I said, within the ACE formula that you're going to learn, but I think one of my absolute favorite ones is to get a conversation to be about sex when I first meet somebody. And there's a lot of easy ways to do it, but one of my favorites is I'll be talking to somebody, I'm in a situation where we're in a casual conversation in a bar, maybe I've only just met them, and I'll say to them, you ever notice how people have boring conversations? Now, this is really powerful because what I'm saying here is, have you had boring conversations with other people? And also, she's got a fear that maybe this conversation is boring. So she's going to look at me and be like, yeah, I have noticed that. I've said, right? Everyone always talks about the same mundane crap. What do you do for a living? Where do you go for fun? Where's your favorite place to go on vacation? And I find it so much more interesting to have different conversations. So if you're willing to, I'd like to bring up a completely random topic and talk about that instead. Now, because I've framed it in that way and I've worded it in a way where I've outlined the other conversations she's probably had with other strangers, I'm creating curiosity. I haven't told her what the other subject is, she doesn't know what it is, but it's entertaining, it's interesting, it's unique, and most people will be willing to do that. But also I'm getting her permission to do this. Essentially, I'm inviting her to travel with me down the Twilight Zone. I want her permission to shift this conversation in a different direction. I have never found anyone that doesn't say they're okay with that. If I meet somebody and I'm talking to them for a few minutes, they are almost always fascinated by what I'm about to say and they want to talk further. Now, you've got to remember that everyone's favorite conversation is talking about themselves. And this is something that we teach in the conversation module within the ACE formula, where we show you all the different ways to have conversations and all the different methods to help you find one that's right for you. Not for you to learn all of them, by the way, because it's better if you learn something that naturally sits with you. But at this point, the woman then, she's going to look at me and then she's going to say, okay, yeah, I'm open to that. So I want to have a conversation that's about her, because I know that's what she's going to like. And I also want to turn the conversation to sex. So at this point, I'll say, all right, in that case, what is the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened to you while you're on a date with somebody? Now, this has completely changed the dynamic of the conversation. I'm also getting her to share a story that she probably finds funny, something that she finds awkward, and it makes her more human. Now, what's great about this is she's now going to share something with me that she's probably only shared with people she's dated before. And that's important. That's moved me into a different category. I'm no longer some random person. I am now the kind of person that she has dated before. And that shift, although she's not dating me, makes a big difference on the psychology in our interaction. We're now going to laugh and giggle, albeit at her expense, but with a conversation that she's comfortable having, as she's the one sharing the story. And I'm now going to share a bad story or an embarrassing story from me. In case you're wondering what that story is, I often talk about the time that I went on a date with a woman. We got really into each other. We wanted to go somewhere to have sex, but we didn't know where to go. So we ended up in a forest. And so we're hanging out in the forest. We lay down a blanket. We start having sex, convinced that no one's going to find us, when we hear this strange sound in the underbrush. It's like... and we're not sure what it is. We freak out, we look up, and we see this dog who comes over, and this girl is like sitting on top of me, and this dog sticks its nose up her butt, in between my legs, sniffing us, and we're like, oh, this is a really awkward situation. At least it's a dog, until we hear the owner coming to find us. He's like, excuse me, hello. He's calling his dog. He's like, Rex, Rex, where are you? Whatever the dog's name is. And he comes over, and we're trying to shoo this dog away while this dog thinks we're playing. And so eventually I get the bright idea of grabbing a stick and throwing it, and the dog chases the stick, finds the owner, and thankfully they walk off. Now what happens is this gives us a real bonding experience. I'm sharing my funny story, she shares her story, and we start laughing and giggling and talking about relationships. And then it is a simple matter of following that line of talking about relationships and sex, knowing exactly what to do to start building it up to generate the sexual escalation I want, and then get her to crave me. And this culminates with us lying in bed later on that day or whenever it is that we go back to my place, and I will always get them to beg to have sex with me. And this is important. This is because we live in a post-Me Too era where it's very important that you learn how to get consent. And I find that actually it's a lot more interesting if I can generate that kind of sexual dynamic where they say, please take me, please be with me. And not only does that get me aroused, because I like someone that says things like that, but it means I know that they want to be with me. I know that they're in that scenario. And in the ACE formula, I break down exactly how to do all of these things. So I want to explain to you why I believe the ACE formula is the 100% best method for anybody to learn how to solve their dating life. If you are unhappy with the dating life, if you are single, if you are still watching this video, you need the ACE formula. And I'll explain why. Look, I've worked for many of the other companies. In fact, for 8 years, I ran a live bootcamp every single weekend. And I'm telling you that I saw time and time again, while some people did get instant results, the reality was that for most people, a single weekend isn't good enough. And they would save up, do a weekend, go away, come back 6 months later, do another weekend. And it took time, a long time, and it took them forever to get the kind of results they want. All of the people who became amazing at this did it the exact same way. They took an amount of time and they dedicated that long period of time to getting good at this. They didn't do it a little bit at a time, try and figure it out on their own. You know, look at all of the experts when it comes to dating, myself included, or some of the other greats from the dating and seduction world, like Neil Strauss or Tyler Durden. All of these guys, you can look at the book, The Game, and see they devoted a large period of time to getting good at this. You can't just try and get good in a weekend or in a single day. And that's why I believe the ACE formula is one of the most powerful things in the world, because it is a 6-month training program. It's not something you do for a weekend or for an evening or for a couple of weeks. It is a 6-month program. And during this program, you are given not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 dedicated coaches to help you improve. The ACE formula breaks down and teaches you the key elements to attraction. First of all, you have an entire section on abundance and a dedicated abundance coach. This coach is going to teach you how to develop a lifestyle where you're surrounded by the kind of people you're naturally attracted to. This isn't no cookie cutter bullshit. This is a breakdown and analysis of exactly the kind of people you want to be attracted to, what they look like, what they do, what they enjoy doing, how they enjoy being, and they will help you cultivate and build those people into your life through extensive training. In fact, every Monday you will have an abundance training. In fact, once a week, you will have an abundance training session with your abundance coach who will help analyze exactly what you're doing, help you develop a social circle of people that are naturally attracted to you and build up that lifestyle so you truly have abundance. And this is supported by a number of video training modules and exams where you'll be answering questions to see that you fully understand the material and then actually doing it in live with your abundance coach over time to get a lifestyle where you are truly abundant, have pre-selection, and have women naturally drawn to you, so you don't have to go out there and do these weird approaches and start talking to strangers as they are drawn to you. Next up, you will have a confidence coach. The confidence coach will take you through step by step a simple customized structure for you in how to become more confident. They will help you build up experience at your own pace so that it becomes easy to meet people, easy to talk to people, easy to arouse people, to get them to want to be with you. You will meet with your confidence coach every single week as they help you overcome individual hurdles, discuss any sticking points you may have, and guide you through the confidence video modules and exams to ensure that you fully understand the material, are applying it, and are getting the results you want. Next up, you'll have an escalation coach. This coach is a dedicated coach you'll meet with once a week who's going to help you develop your own way to get somebody turned on and aroused. Maybe you've got a certain sexual technique that you like to enjoy with people. They will help you develop a method to ensure that your partner knows that, so that you can turn them on in a way that gets them chasing you, begging you to be with them, and delivering the kind of sexual preferences you like. I'll tell you now, one of my absolute favorite things is after sex. I love it when a woman bathes me with a hot, warm towel and cleans my body. And this is something that I've experienced for years with my lovers because I know how to tell them what I love, and they give me this. And it means that every single time that I am intimate with my partner, I not only enjoy the experience, but I enjoy the after experience. And it is a fully fulfilling experience, which I love enjoying. And I want you to learn how to develop and get exactly what you want in a way that actually draws people to you rather than pushes them away. In fact, if you're interested in like maybe watching adult movies, maybe you got a little bit of a porn addiction going on, it doesn't have to be a bad thing. It can be a great thing, and you can enjoy it with your partner rather than having two people separately staring at porn on their phones in the restroom, hiding it from each other. Instead, you can enjoy it with your partner if you know how to use this correctly, and your escalation coach is going to teach you how to do that. We're going to go one step further and we give you a fourth coach who is an accountability coach. This is a coach that checks in with you every week to make sure that you're fully using the program rather than it being one of those things that you buy and then it just goes unused. You know, maybe you've tried a live event before. Maybe you've gone on a 2-day weekend and you finish the weekend and you feel great and like, this is one of the best things I've ever done. And then you kind of just get left alone and then no one really helps you and then you feel like it was a waste of time and you wish you could go back in time and, you know, get your money back or do it again. We make sure that doesn't happen by ensuring that every single week our accountability coach is checking in with you, holding you accountable for the results and the things that you want to get. And this is why the ACE formula is so powerful. I want you to imagine how good your dating life would be if for the next 6 months you had 4 of my personal coaches guiding you through exactly how to develop in each of these areas of your life. Now, in a minute, I'm going to share with you some testimonials from actual students who have done this program so you can see the kind of benefits that they've got from it, so you can see how it's changed their life. And in fact, in some situations, it's taken them from where they're sitting there crying every night because they're alone, and now they're enjoying the dating life that they have always wanted. And as you know yourself, the best dating experts in the world have all done something like this. They've all dedicated an amount of time to getting good at this. And the reason you're probably not getting the results you want is simply because you've never sat down and dedicated this amount of time to getting good. Now, I know what you're thinking. 6 months of coaching is probably going to cost you a lot of money. And normally you'd be right. A live event will cost anywhere from $2,000 to $3,000. So if you were going to study for 6 months, which works out to 24 weekends, not to mention all the weekdays, this would be an insane amount of money. And in fact, even phone coaching just for one lesson a week normally costs about $2,000 a month, which means for 6 months it would be $12,000, which I know is a crazy amount. Well, the good news is I'm here to tell you that we wanted to come up with a program that was affordable for absolutely everyone. And while there is going to be a commitment in time, in energy, and of course in finance, it is definitely something that if you were committed to getting good at, that you could afford and that anybody could actually pull together the money to achieve. One of the biggest issues that we had when we created this program was simply that people wanted to learn from me. And the entire program is with all of my top coaches, and yet when people signed up, one of the first questions they ask is, yes, but do I get to work with Adam? How can I work with Adam? So I'm here to tell you that if you did want to work with me, and you're more than welcome to, my actual fee is $2,500 per hour. And I hope that there's somebody watching this who says, you know what, I want to pay that, I'd like to sign up for 10 hours, and please feel free to reach out to us to do that. But for most people that are doing the ACE formula, I still wanted a way to actually meet them, and I wanted a way to work with them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a very special offer. At the moment, we're creating an entire promotional period for the ACE formula. We're trying to get the word out there and let people know that we have discovered the absolute best method that has helped every single one of our students. We have a 100% success rate of students that turn up who have either never done this before and want to get good, or have done other programs that have failed for them before and want to get good. And we have a 100% success rate of turning them around within 6 months to being the kind of people that are getting results that would blow their minds. You may have heard of people trying to double their dating or triple their dating. Most of the students within this program are experiencing 10x the amount of dates that they had before. And for some people who have never had a date before, it's infinite, because they're actually being able to go out there and choose not just the kind of women they want, but being chased by women that they believed were out of their league. And this is the secret behind the ACE formula. And this is why we know the ACE formula is the right program to help anybody get the dating life that they want. But we also understand that you may want to work with me directly. You may want to meet me and talk to me. So I wanted to do something special just for people that get in their application to the ACE formula today. And that's right, you heard me right, I said application. And that's because we don't want people to just be able to buy their way into this program. We know that you are not going to end up paying anywhere near the $12,000 or $20,000 that you'd be paying if you did 6 months of coaching with any other program. And so we know that we're going to get swamped with people that want to jump on board this program. However, we do have live coaches, which means there are only so many students we can take into the program. And the way that we want to qualify people is based on helping the students who are most dedicated to get good at this. Trust me, as a coach who's been teaching for around 15 years, there is nothing more frustrating than working with somebody who isn't truly dedicated to actually improve. It's frustrating to try and motivate somebody to actually put things into practice that you know work, and the only reason someone isn't getting the results that they could be getting is just because they're being lazy and they don't want to put the effort up. So we have an application process where we sit down and talk to people to make sure that you are motivated to get good. However, for anybody that is motivated to get good, we know that not only will you start getting results within a day or a few days of starting into the program, but that you will be able to master this and fully understand it throughout the entire 6-month program. And as a benefit to you, and to answer the question of how can people work with Adam, I am throwing in for you, if you fill in that application form today, a 2-day live event with me. Just like the live events that I used to teach, just like the live events that I now teach, for $12,000 just for the 2 days of working with me, I'm going to throw that into the program as well. That means the entire value of this program is about $24,000, and yet you will pay nowhere near that amount for the full 6 months of coaching, for the 4 coaches that are guiding you through, answering all your questions to ensure that you get the results you want, and for those 2 days live with me. Now, as I said, it is an application process, and beneath this video, you'll find a link that you can click on to fill in an application to be able to talk with us. You'll also see some testimonials on that page from students who have already gone through this process and see the exact results that they've got from taking this program. The other thing that I want to stress to you is there is literally no risk at filling in that application form. There is no obligation to buy if you do it. It is just an application form to see if you and I feel that there's a fit to work together and to share with you one of the few spots that we have on the ACE Formula program. I do want to make it clear that since you're watching this video right now, our application form is timed, and we will know whether you're taking this opportunity today or not. And if you think you can just, sign up in a couple of days or think about it for a while, you will not get the bonus of that 2-day live event with me. However, I want to make this an absolute no-brainer for you. If you're watching this video right now, that means you're at crossroads. And there's one version of you that I know is going to say, maybe this isn't right for me. Maybe it's not going to work. I'm not sure. I could maybe use that money for something else. And I want to make it very clear with you that that version of you does not get the life that you want. If you think about it, if you keep doing the thing you've always done, then that's always what you're going to get. So I am now going to make an attempt to convince you to take this step to change your life. I want to add some extra benefits that you're going to get if you fill in that application form today. And you won't be able to cheat this program. It works out people that fill it in today, and it is the only way to get all of these future benefits that I am going to give you if you take that chance and are just willing to fill in the application to talk with us today. And the reason that I'm doing this, the reason that it has to be today, is because I know that the people that sign up instantly, the ones that say, okay, I'm going to go for this. Remember, I'm not asking for your credit card. I'm just asking for you to fill in a form to talk to us. I know for a fact that they're the ones that get the best results. Because when I say to them, hey, listen, you've got this great opportunity, this woman's interested in you, all you've got to do is do this one thing, and she's going to be willing to go on a date with you, I need you to say, okay, cool. And to not say, well, let me think about it for a while, maybe I'll do it later. That's how I know a student that is going to be difficult to work with. And that's how I know a student I want to charge a premium. I absolutely love working with those students, but I love making them pay my full $2,500 an hour rate because I know that they're going to be hard work. If you're going to be easy, if you're going to do the things that we say, then I am more than willing to go the extra mile to help you. And so here's what I'll actually give you if you sign up today. Not only will you get the full 6-month program, all the 4 dedicated coaches to help you develop that abundance so women chase you, to become more confident, and to be able to escalate and get somebody aroused, I'll give you that 2-day live event with me, and then I'll go a step further. I'll give you access to a 1-year accountability program that we call the Internal Advancement Institute, where you will be able to join a community of people where you can ask questions and have people answer those questions for you, and even gain access to all of my cutting-edge videos and advice I provide only for that community that teach everything from not only dating, but even how to start a business and how to make money. And I'll go one step further, and I'll throw in 3 additional live events. That means if you apply for the ACE Formula today and you're accepted and you get into the ACE Formula, not only will you get the full 6 months of coaching, but you'll end up with 4 live events with me. Those 4 live events, each one of them will be worth $12,000 on their own, meaning you'll be looking at $48,000 worth of bonuses in those live events completely alone, not to mention the fact that you'll get to learn from the world's leading dating coach, teaching you everything you need to know about dating. Now, this is the best I can do to try and create this as an absolute no-brainer for you to just click on a link, go through, and apply to join the ACE Formula today. A system that is guaranteed to work for you. If you sign up for the ACE formula and it doesn't get you where you need to be, or you think that this doesn't work, I'll happily give you your money back. I don't want anybody in that program who doesn't know for a fact that this is going to work for them, because I know it will. I know the ACE formula is the thing that will mean that you can finally put all your dating problems behind you and you can move ahead with your life and start focusing on the things that matter, like making money, being successful, and building a family. And the only way you're going to be able to do that, if you're watching this video right now, is by signing up and clicking that link and filling in the application form. There is nothing to risk and everything to lose if you don't do it. So click on the form, fill in the application, talk to us, and let's see if this is a natural fit. Because I've done everything I can to make this a no-brainer for you, to give you the best valued offer that I can. And if you click on that link, then I'd be happy to have one of my team members break down the entire ACE formula for you to talk to you about all of the benefits you're going to get and why this is the system that is going to solve all your dating problems. So just to make this clear, you click on that link, it will take you through to the ACE formula page. You'll be able to see testimonials from other students. You'll get an application form. You'll fill in the information as detailed as you can so our team know you, and then the application member can sit and talk to you to assess whether you're right for this program and to find out if this is a natural fit. And then if you're accepted into the program, then you'll gain access to the full ACE formula, the 4 live events, and a year of continued group coaching through the IAI, only if you take action today. So do yourself a favor, click on that link, fill in the form, and we look forward to talking to you about the ACE formula.